Hello gamers, welcome to another edition of Tonight on Mage Hammer's Game Table, where tonight I am beginning the series featuring Streamlined Superheroes by John Fredericks, published by Sharp Mountain Games. He's a friend of the channel. I made these characters I'm about to introduce you to up on previous videos, so you can go check that out. It's in this playlist. And tonight I am going to do a adventure featuring the characters I created. Now, I created these characters randomly. Streamlined Superheroes has you make your own character, which is great, but I decided to do it randomly for the heck of it. So I came up with the Chilling Wind, whose powers are weather control, body armor, ice generation, and magic. Then the leader of the team is the Cooler, and pretty strong, but he has ice generation, diplomacy, wall crawling, and throwing an ice shield. And the wall crawling, I kind of just thought, like, if he wants to climb the walls, he he makes frozen ice patties, and I don't know. We'll see how it plays. The other character is Scrum. He is a rugby star. I'm gonna attempt to give him an Australian accent. We'll see what happens. He's also a pilot. He's into computers, but he also has been given ice generation powers. And then the alien of the party is Kestrulu, and wall crawling, throwing a shield, water breathing, and teleport. Comes from a water-based planet and has come to our planet and has certain powers because of it. I think the teleportation, though, is his belt. It's like I decided I was going to make it his belt instead of making it an inherent ability. And the Chilling Wind may or may not be dead. Undead. So we'll see. Everybody's a little creeped out by him, but he is on the side of good, so they let him hang out. Plus, he has ice generation powers, because the cold. And so this team has come together. The Cooler has recruited all of them, and now they are going to go out into the world and do some good. So I have here SideQuest X. This is for Modern Crime, Spies, and Supers. Outline, adventure, and map cards. So they are in numerical order, and they each come with a little scenario and a little map on the back. And so I'm going to generate 3 of these and choose the one I think will work best for this episode. So there are 54 of them. So I'm going to roll a d6 and a d10 and re-roll the 6. I got 24. Oh, by the way, I decided to break out my dice tower since Sharp Mountain Games uses a dice tower in his Streamlined Superheroes games on his channel, and Solo Spelunking has recently done a dice tower, and then also Tabletop Wanderer did a dice tower. So I was like, you know what? Time to bust out my dice tower. So here we are. Okay, so the first one I'm pulling out of here is 24. It's called Dangerous Diorama. Okay, let's see what the second choice is. And that's going to be 38. Under Pressure. Dun, 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 dun. All right, and then my third choice is going to be 60. That's too big. So we'll keep the 0 and re-roll the 6, so 16 that becomes. All right. Mutating mutations. All right, so I'm going to take a look at these 3 scenarios, and I'm going to choose the one that I think is going to work best for this episode. So, not to give away too much, I'm going to look at them off camera here. Yeah, okay, that one's not too bad. I feel like maybe that first one. All right, so I think I'm going to go with Dangerous Diorama. So I have some terrain tiles that should work nicely for this. So I'm just going to take a moment to set those up. While I'm doing that, I think I will take the opportunity to discuss this system. All right, so this system is very streamlined, as is the name. But what I want to tell you is it is streamlined. And I think if you're a doubter out there and you're thinking, can you really streamline a superhero game? John did. I think you're going to enjoy how this plays. Now, I will be honest, I have not yet played. I haven't even solo played off camera because I want this session to be my very first time I play. So that in mind, there we go. That's what I'm looking for. So for that in mind, I think I'm going to get all the rules correct because it is very streamlined. But if I do not, please let me know in the comments below, or I might catch myself and figure it out myself. So, all right, so I'm breaking out my Mansions of Madness tiles that I use for my Darien Dangers and Pulp Cthulhu games. I think this will make for a really, I'm going to put together a really, it's going to happen, and this is happening in a museum. So, breaking out the museum tiles. Some of you have probably seen my museum tiles before if you've watched some of my other videos. It's a lot of fun. I love these tiles. They're really good for Cthulhu slash pulp. All right. Like, I of course would have had this set up beforehand. However, I did not quite know what the scenario is going to be. So hopefully you'll just bear with me a little bit. And be a little bit understanding so we can see our heroes in action here very soon. Those of you that are new to my channel, I believe in playing these games like I would play them in my basement if it was just me not on camera. So that means that I don't edit. I treat it like a live stream. Like I'm live streaming this game right now, even though I'm technically not. I feel that that is an authentic way, and I think it's one of the hallmarks of my channel that I do it that way. And of course, everybody's preferences are different, and if this is not your preference, I apologize. I'm sorry. But we can make this a back room in there. But yeah, I mean, it works for me. I mean, I want this to be a fun hobby for me, sharing this with you all, and not just it becomes a chore. If you start editing, you know, I don't want this to be a chore. I started this channel to share my experiences with other people, because that's fun, and B, to hopefully become monetized someday and make a little extra money to help defray the costs of my gaming addiction. Did I say addiction? I meant hobby. So I have reached those goals, and now I continue to just keep going forward and enjoying my time sharing my games, my sessions, other people's games, solo experiences with you all. And I am completely grateful and appreciative of all of the support that I get from you, my viewers. Obviously, I guess I could do this without you, but it's just so much better sharing it with all of you. So I love the engagement and the comments, and on my community Facebook page. It's just all wonderful. Okay, enough blabbering. I think I've got it where I want it. All right. All right. Oh, that'll stairs open up to a door. I'm going to check the camera here in a few minutes. This lab is optional. Okay, we come into here. Ooh, then we have the bear exhibit, and then the shining star exhibit is going to be, yes, the dinosaur exhibit. All right, so let me read the setup for the scenario here. I guess I can push this lab off to the side here, and then push this all over this way, and that should be on camera. It should be on camera. All right. Oh, that doesn't make sense. Okay, we'll do this. Yeah, the doors match there, just in case I need an extra room. Okay. So the heroes are going to sneak into the museum after darkness because they are looking for a artifact that is on display here that they believe could send Chilling Wind back to the grave. And so they need to sneak in. And when they get in there, we'll see what happens. All right, so they don't want to go in the front door, which is here. So they're going to go in this back door into the lab. So they're going to enter in. I don't know if you can see it on, you can't see it on camera. So let me push this up here. There we go. All right, and then the lab. So you can see the lab a little bit. All right, cool. So they're sneaking into the lab, and so the cooler uses his cold ability to disable the lock, make it really cold, and then they're able to break in. But first, they have to have Scrum get past the security system. So he has computers of 8. So in this game, you roll a D20. If you get a 10, you add your relevant attribute, which in this case will be intelligence, I'd say. Computers runs on intelligence. And so he gets to add 1 to this roll. If he rolls a total of 10, then he gets to use his effect die. And I'm going to put this. So the museum does have some valuable artifacts, but sometimes funding is, scarce for museums. So I'm going to say that he's going to need to hit a total. I mean, I guess it would be that complicated. So I'm going to say to hit a total of 8 on his effect die to do it. And then if he fails, I'm going to say if he rolls a 1 on the 20-sided, then he triggers the alarm by mistake. All right. So he gets a 17, and what we get in the 8? Yo, holy moly, right off the bat. Yeah, that's right. I disabled it like that. All right. Nice job. Let's go. So he then freezes the lock, and they open the door and they enter into the lab. Okay. And the Chilling Wind just kind of floats. He don't talk much, does he? No, he doesn't. And then, so they've all entered in, and there's another door. Let me see if that one's wired. I think I've hacked the whole system now. I don't think we have much to worry about. Let me see. And so he's going to try to hack the computer again. And he failed, but he didn't get a 1. But what he realizes is that he has disabled the entire security system. Nothing to worry about, mate. Go ahead and in. Let's go and see what we got. So, Kestrulu says, I will go. Let me take it. So he shoots through the door into the room, and standing around the room, all right, standing around the room appear to be some people, some normal people, just hanging out, chilling. But when they look at these folks, they see that their eyes are purple. And Castrulu says, I am not sure of... I am just learning about humans, but I don't think purple eyes is natural. What's purple eyes? What are you talking about? Oh my. So standing about, there is a... there is a man in a robe standing on the other side of the dinosaur, and he is flanked by two people who are wielding bladed weapons, and their eyes are all glowing purple. And the this will be a knife. Okay. And the man in the cloak here, the cape, says, yes, you are invading my kingdom. Interlopers, you are worse than Salakatek. Salakatek? Salakatek. He moves to take over my kingdom, and now I know he's here somewhere. But you were sent by him. Get him, my minions! And so these two start moving around, and we're gonna do initiative. Now, there are many different ways to do initiative in this game. The way that he suggests, that John suggests in his rules, is that one player character acts, and then one NPC acts, and then one character acts. So I'm going to follow his rule, and we'll go with that. So Scrum says, I got this one. And so he goes running. He slides underneath the tail of the Tyrannosaurus here and tackles. He's going to tackle this guy. He's going to use his sports die, his rugby. So I'm going to say it's going to be a strength. So he gets +2 to the 20 side here. And he gets, I got to move this over. Ooh, he only gets an 8. So he misses. He misses his tackle. And this guy kind of spins him against the wall, and then since we're there, he's going to stab at him with his blade, and he misses. So then we're back to the cooler. Sends an ice stream at this one and tries to ensnare her. So his ensnaring rules: target must make an immediate dexterity roll to avoid being entangled. But he has to use his power successfully first. So the cooler has ice generation D12. I'm going to use it to be dexterity because he's got to guide it. So he's got a D10 on the dexterity. Ooh, that's a 1. So, 13. So he hits, and he only gets a 1 on the effect die. So she is ensnared for a single round, but she does get a dex check to try to break out of that. So, and she makes it. So she is not ensnared, which makes sense because that roll was dookie, as some of my students like to say. So I can't tell if this die is showing up on camera very well. Probably not. I'll have to. That's fine. All right. So she is not ensnared, and then she lets out a scream and yell and holds up a dagger and comes and tries to stab the cooler. And she's got a D6. Effect that. Ooh, good thing she missed. So she missed. Cooler dodges easily. And then it is back to one of the heroes. Chilling Wind is going to... I'm not going to use weather control. Is going to attempt to use magic to turn invisible. So we're going to do that. So he needs to get a and he gets it easily. And since he rolled so high on his effect die, I'll just say he's able to be invisible for 6 rounds. So we'll put this little icon, this little token next to him to indicate that he's invisible. And then, or even more fun, I know it's not the same miniature, but it's an invisible miniature, so that will be him for 6 rounds. So I'll count that down with a D6. All right. All right, so I think we're all on camera, I hope. All right, so that'll be the countdown for that. Now, this guy goes. Now, this guy has a little bit more power. He puts his hand to his head and attempts to blast Scrum with a mental blast. So we're going to do that. I'm going to say he has a D8 in that. He is not successful. Scrum's mind is such a puzzle. I mean, you know, Scrum is, you know, he's smart enough, right? But he's kind of, you know, he's kind of in his rage right now, his rugby rage, since he missed that tackle, and he's not happy about it. So, so that failed miserably. All right, so back to Kestrulu. Kestrulu can't get his shield past that skeleton, the fossil, so gonna use his belt to teleport behind that guy. So he needs to do it to be successful, and we'll see how successful he is. Okay, so he is successful. He gets a 1, so he doesn't quite teleport behind him. He just teleports to the side of him with his teleportation belt. All right. Now, that was a full round, so go back to initiative. So I guess I can choose whoever I want, or I guess I go by dexterity. If I go by dexterity, Chilling Wind or Scrum. We'll do Scrum first, and then I can just make the decision back and forth as far as I can tell. We can choose, it says we can choose to do descending dexterity order or not. So, all right, so Scrum is going to try to just punch his combatant as hard as he can. And he gets, since he has Sports 12, I'm going to say that that is part of his power or skill. All right, so we got a 15 and did only 2 points of damage. All right, so these henchmen are a little tougher than most. Henchmen in the game is suggested to have about 3 hit points. I'm going to give these henchmen, I'm going to give them 6 each. Now, that's a lot, but they're tough henchmen. So this henchman now has 4 hit points left. And that henchman has that many, and that master, I'm going to give this many. All right. So now a bad guy goes, and he steps back and he points his hand at Kestrulu, and Kestrulu instinctively throws his shield up, and suddenly psychic lightning flies out of the hand of the master here, and I'm going to give him a D8 in that as well. He fails. Good thing he failed. He was doing some damage. So the lightning bounds and hits Kestrulu's shield and just kind of skitters around the shield, and the shield absorbs it in so that it can't harm him. Alien tech. All right, and so Kestrulu, since we're on him right now, even though his dexterity isn't, he's gonna run up and do a shield bash on the villain, and I'm just going to allow that to be throwing a shield as part of the shield bash. So he's going to do a D10. The blue die is the primary die. So he's successful. He only does 1 damage. All right, so the villain gets up, manages to kind of avoid the blow, just takes a glancing blow, and loses 1 hit point. All right, so now the cooler is going to send ice at the henchman and try to push her back up against the wall. So we'll see how well he does. If he gets 6 or higher, which is in the rules that give him a better effect, if he gets a 6 or higher on his effect die, it's going to smash her against the wall and it'll do an additional 2 points of damage. If it's less than 6, then she doesn't go towards the wall, but still takes some damage. And if he misses, she dodges. So that's how we're going to do that. His ice generation is 12, and he gets to add 2 to this roll. No, his ice generation is 10. Oh, wasted that 12. Well, he missed. So she dodged pretty easily. So no harm, no foul. It's her turn. She slashes at him with her dagger, the ritualistic dagger that she has. And she hits for 2 damage. So the cooler takes 2 damage. Alrighty. So those 2 have gone. This guy, I think I'll have him attack the Scrum now. I don't think I had him attack Scrum this turn, so he's going to do it now. He's at a D6. So he misses. Got +0. He got an 8. He misses. And so now Chilling Wind is going to... All right. Is going to take... is going to move and send an ice shard at that guy and then move again. I don't really see, I can't remember in the rules. I know there's retreating, but I think you can move and attack. I mean, at least if not, then I'm going to make that a house rule. So anyway, so he's going to move, fire off an ice shard, and then move again. So ice shard. So using his ice ability, that's a D8. Chilling Wind. And he hits for 6 damage, which is enough to take this guy down. So he collapses to the floor with an ice shard upside the head. And then I think that's all of the combatants. So now we go back to the top of initiative, and we are going to go with we'll go with Kestrulu, who swings back again with a backswing, trying to hit this guy with his shield pretty solidly. So Kestrulu can throw a shield at D10. So hits and does 8 damage. Oh, man. Ouch. Solid hit this time. And so he staggers back just a little bit, slams into the wall. Not enough to take extra damage, but still just slams into the wall. And then he shoots lightning again at Kestrulu and hits for 3 damage. So Kestrulu, some lightning zaps around his shield and hits him. So he takes some of that damage. All right, so that's 3 damage. And then back to... All right, Scrum. What's Scrum going to do here? Scrum is going to run and just slam this guy up against the wall using his sports ability, his rugby knowledge. He was a professional rugby player. All right, mate, time for you to go down. And he hits for 5 damage, which slams him into the wall. He collapses to the floor. And as soon as he goes down, she collapses. And they're like, oh, that was satisfying. All right, then. Let me see what we got here. All right. Hey, Chilling Wind, wherever you are, guard this door here in case somebody comes through there. Let's take a look at what's going on here. So Cooler, who has the most intelligence in this crew? Kestrulu. Good. Kestrulu is looking. I'm gonna let him make a just gonna make an intelligence check and add 3 to get some information. And he doesn't notice anything out of the ordinary. And then the Cooler, I'll give him a roll as well. He's got a 1 intelligence. He doesn't see anything either. Scrum is is flexing his muscles, massaging the back of his muscles. That's right. I gotta stay fit here, mates. And so he is looking around and got a 9. And Chilling Wind, I'm gonna give Chilling Wind a magic test. Ooh, Chilling Wind gets it and gets a 3. Chilling Wind says, I sense magic on him. Look to an amulet. Okay, Chilling Wind. It's kind of weird hearing your voice coming from the air. Yes, okay. And then he goes, this looks pretty old. Anybody have... Let me see. And then Chilling Wind becomes visible and comes over and he hands it to him. Chilling Wind, he's gonna use magic to try to identify it. And he identifies it easily. He got a 6, so he definitely knows what it is. This is the magical amulet of an ancient pharaoh who was one of 3 kingdoms that warred against each other back in the BCs. And apparently the soul of that pharaoh is trapped in here. And when you put it on, apparently, as we have seen, it possesses the wearer and anyone near him with his minions. Right. Now, Castrulo's like, Scrum is like, that's weird. And Castrulo says, so what that basically means is he said something about someone else. I have a feeling that he's not the only pharaoh, ancient pharaoh, floating around this museum. That is a distinct possibility, alien. Yeah. Cool. It's like, all right, well, we need to get your artifact. So let's keep looking. Are you able to sense your artifact? Let me see. Yes, it is here. Well, we can get that and get out of here. Yes, but if these other pharaohs are threatening people, we may need to take them out. Yeah, good point. Good point, Chilling Wind. All right, team, here's what we're going to do. I don't know who these poor innocents are. They're alive, at least. So we'll keep this amulet and try to find out exactly where it belongs, and maybe even we'll take it to a safer spot than this museum, where apparently it's a bad thing. And then we'll continue looking for your amulet. Sounds like what you call a plan. Yes, indeed. All right, then, let's get and move on. All right, so at this point, I'm going to end that first episode, and they'll continue exploring the museum in my next one. So I hope you enjoyed that. Sorry for all the setup time at the beginning, but when you're doing things randomly, you got to be ready for almost anything. So thank you for sticking with me, and I hope you enjoyed the story that followed, and we'll see where this leads us in the next episode. All right. Thank you so much for watching. Till next time, keep on rolling dice and playing games. Mage Hammer out.